In a lively little town, there was a girl named Sarah who had a passion for learning. She was smart, curious, and always eager to improve. However, there was one thing that troubled her: vocabulary. While Sarah excelled in many subjects, she often found herself stumbling over English words she didn't know. She wanted to be better at speaking, writing, and understanding English, but she wasn't sure how to begin. One day after school, Sarah sat down with her older brother, Tom, who was great at English and loved reading thick books. She hoped he could give her some advice. "Tom, I want to be really good at vocabulary, but I don't know where to start," Sarah said with a worried expression. Tom smiled at her and replied, "Don't worry, Sarah. Learning vocabulary is a lot easier than you think. You just have to take it one step at a time, like climbing a ladder. Let me show you how." Tom began with the most important advice: reading. "Sarah, if you want to learn more words, you need to read regularly. Reading is the best way to see how words are used in sentences. Start with something simple, like a storybook or a magazine. It doesn't matter what you read, as long as you enjoy it." Sarah's eyes lit up. "But what if I come across words I don't understand?" Tom nodded. "Good question. When that happens, the next step will help." Tom handed Sarah a small dictionary. "This will be your best friend. Whenever you find a word you don't know, look it up in the dictionary. It'll give you the meaning, show you how to say the word, and even give you a sentence as an example." Sarah flipped through the dictionary and found it filled with words she didn't know. She felt a little nervous. "There are so many words in here. How can I possibly remember them all?" Tom chuckled. "You don't have to learn them all at once. Let's move to the next tip." Tom explained, "It's much easier to learn a few words every day than to try and learn many words at once. If you learn just 5 new words a day, that's 35 words by the end of the week. And in a month, you'll know more than 100 new words." Sarah liked the idea of learning small amounts every day. She decided that she would start learning 5 new words after school each day. Tom gave Sarah a small notebook. "This is your vocabulary journal. Whenever you learn a new word, write it down. Write the word, its meaning, and use it in a sentence. This will help you remember the words better." Excited, Sarah took the notebook and promised herself to keep it with her at all times. She would write down new words she heard at school or read in her books. Tom gave another important piece of advice. The best way to remember new words is to use them in your daily life. Try using them when you talk to friends, in your homework, or even when you chat with Mum and Dad. Sarah felt a little shy about using new words in conversation. But Tom encouraged her, saying, "It might feel strange at first, but the more you practice, the easier it will get." Tom knew that learning should be fun too. There are lots of games that can help you learn new words without feeling like you're studying. Try playing Scrabble, crossword puzzles, or even word searches. These games will challenge you to think of new words and help you learn while having fun. Sarah loved games, so she was excited to try this. She decided to invite her friends to play word games with her after school. Sarah enjoyed watching movies and listening to music. Tom explained that these could help her learn vocabulary as well. When you watch a movie or listen to a song in English, pay attention to the words. You might hear new words or phrases that people use in everyday life. This sounded like a fun way to learn, so Sarah promised to start watching more English movies with subtitles to learn new words. Tom then reminded Sarah of something very important. It's not enough to just learn new words, you have to review them, or you'll forget. At the end of every week, go through the words you've written in your vocabulary journal. Test yourself and see if you can remember their meanings and how to use them. Sarah nodded, understanding the importance of going over what she had learned. Tom could see that Sarah was still a little worried. He smiled and said, "Sarah, it's okay to make mistakes. When you're learning something new, you're going to make errors. That's part of the process. Don't be embarrassed if you use a word incorrectly. Just keep practicing, and you'll get better." Sarah felt relieved. She had always been afraid of making mistakes, but now she realized that mistakes were part of learning. Before they finished, Tom gave Sarah one last piece of advice. Learning vocabulary doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, so be patient with yourself. If you practice every day and follow these tips, you'll improve. Just keep going, and don't give up. Sarah felt much more confident after hearing Tom's advice. She hugged her brother and thanked him for his help. Over the next few weeks, Sarah followed all of Tom's tips. She read every day, wrote down new words in her vocabulary journal, and played word games with her friends. She even started using new words in her conversations at home and school. At first, it wasn't easy. Sarah sometimes forgot the meanings of the words, and she made mistakes. But she didn't give up. As time passed, Sarah noticed that she was getting better. She understood more of what she read in books, and her writing improved. One day, Sarah gave a presentation in front of her class. She spoke clearly and confidently, using many of the new words she had learned. Her teacher was impressed, and her classmates clapped for her. Sarah smiled, proud of how far she had come. She realized that mastering vocabulary wasn't about learning hundreds of words all at once. It was about learning a little bit every day, being patient, and practicing. With her brother's support and her own hard work, Sarah knew she could continue to improve and become even better at English. And so, Sarah's journey to mastering vocabulary continued, step by step, with Tom always cheering her on.